Georgetown, Texas is growing faster than any Central Texas community, and 2026 is going to be no different. The changes will continue, and they're going to have a long-term impact on Georgetown, Texas's lifestyle and where people want to live. In this video, we're going to cover the commercial developments that are going to affect us, residential expansions that are going to continue through 2026, and those dreaded road improvements, because we know those are going to affect us on a daily basis. I'm Stuart Sutton, a full-time real estate broker specializing in Georgetown, Texas. I've been helping buyers and sellers here for over 3 decades, and I am intimately familiar with the diverse housing we have here, including 55-plus communities, small acreage communities, and new housing. You see, we have more 55-plus 1 acre and new housing than any other community in Central Texas, not to mention master plan communities and established neighborhoods. So if you're buying or selling in Georgetown, Texas in 2026, you're going to want to make sure you understand what's going to impact you. So let's take a look at these 2026 changes, because they're going to affect you in 26 and well beyond. The first big change we're going to address is a long-term change. The development heirloom is going to be west of Georgetown, about where Ronald Reagan hits Williams Drive. There's already some big new subdivisions out there: Palmer Ranch, Nolina, Highland Village. Heirloom is going to be over 650 acres, 3,600 residential units, but that's a combination of single family and multifamily. So you will see single family housing of all prices. You will see multifamily housing. You will see retail. It will be, well, that developer says, really kind of a second hub for Georgetown. They're going to give it sort of a Main Street vibe, if you will. There's already a huge new HEB out there, so they saw what was coming. This is a long-term project. It'll break ground in 26, but for the future, 8 to 10 years before it's finished, it's going to have an impact on where people locate and what goes on in Georgetown, Texas. Now, this one is pretty impressive. Wolf Lakes Village is over 1,400 acres that will be developed as a multi-purpose area: residential, retail, dining, shops, all within minutes of existing neighborhoods. It's expected to attract employers and residents who work within those companies, so that they can have an all-in-one urban lifestyle, similar to what you see in many cities, such as Austin. And I'm told that this is one of the meaningful developments that will truly expand Georgetown's economic base. Even current homeowners near this development are expected to see some benefit and advantages from having it there, as well as long-term value appreciation. And quite sincerely, we're already seeing that. Nearby neighborhoods, including mine, are seeing some benefit from being this close to Wolf Ranch and major upcoming developments like Wolf Lakes Village. Seems there's some value in being close enough in that you don't have to drive 10, 12, 15 minutes to get to Interstate 35. Of course, that is a long-term development, and we're excited to see what happens. As part of that Wolf Lakes Village development we've already discussed will be a 60,000 square foot medical facility. Now, this one will focus on outpatient, women's imaging, cardiovascular. There'll also be 300 parking places. I know you were wondering about that. But the location, again, is just out of this world. Highway 29 and I-35. You can get there within a few minutes from nearly anywhere in Georgetown. And of course, there'll be hundreds of jobs at this facility. And word is that Georgetown's fast becoming one of those places where medical practitioners want to locate because of the booming population. There'll be a lot more announcements coming about Wolf Lakes Village, but this is a good one. And in 2026, the largest active adult community in Texas, Sun City, will continue to grow. We're only a couple, 3 years away from Sun City being finished out. And the new phases have modernized floor plans, more energy efficiency, they're bright and cheerful. And this might be a great time for buyers to lock in prices, because when those final phases are announced, prices do tend to go up. And plans for 2026 include improving amenities, and they are vast in Sun City. Now, the good news is that for those who bought in earlier sections of Sun City, all of your design might be coming back in style. Just kidding, of course, but the resale market in Sun City is weak. There's more inventory than I've seen in a long time. Prices are starting in the low 200s. We haven't seen that in a while. And homes are staying on the market longer, meaning as a buyer in the resale market, you can get one of the better values that we've seen in quite some time. Yeah, Sun City really is the anchor of 55-plus communities in Georgetown, Texas. There are many others, and they are quite lovely, but Sun City is the only one that continues to expand. And 2026 will be no exception. But 55 plus isn't the only development But Sun City's not the only one. Let's take a look at some family-friendly developments that are continuing to grow. As we take note of what's going on in Georgetown, Texas, north of the city, we're seeing a lot of activity. We're starting to see apartments being built. Berry Creek Highlands is going strong. Aston Woods has a strong building program in there. Berry Creek Highlands already has all the infrastructure, the amenity package, wonderful pool, pickleball courts, playscape, all in place. And there's a lot of building to do for several more years in Berry Creek Highlands. And it's probably one of the first because Highway 195 is only going to get more and more active. A lot of the people moving into that area want access to the base in Killeen, as well as access north to Temple. But some of the people moving in that community are from the Austin area. So we'll keep an eye on Berry Creek Highlands, but you're going to see some strong growth in that area in 2026. Palmer Ranch is already a well-known subdivision, and it has incredible amenities. What an extensive resort-like style amenity package. Bottom line is that Palmer Ranch is going to be a big player in the northwest area. It has great values, nice price per square foot, some terrific builders. As a matter of fact, we have new builders coming into Palmer Ranch for the new phases. One thing very cool about Palmer Ranch is you can literally get to the HEB, the huge HEB out at Ronald Reagan and Williams Drive, through the neighborhood Palmer Ranch. You don't even have to get out on the highway. But Palmer Ranch has a long way to go, several years of building. Another major player out in the northwest portion of Georgetown, Texas is Nolina. Now it's in its infancy, but one thing they did very smart was go ahead and put the amenity package in. Lovely community center, pool, playgrounds, but there are some very strong builders. Taylor Morrison, Perry Homes, and a couple others that are building in Nolina, and it is going strong. The first phase is just finished, the second phase is starting, and 2026 will see Nolina continue to grow and be an impact in where people want to live in Georgetown, Texas. We mentioned earlier that Sun City was hitting its final phases over the next couple of years, and there's another neighborhood that's doing the same. Morningstar is about to hit its final phases, and we know that limited building opportunity means a little bit of a plus for resale activity. Morningstar has fantastic amenities. As a matter of fact, most of these master plan communities that have been built within the last 10 years would fit that bill. Fantastic amenities. But Morningstar has walking trails and a great location, straight shot across to downtown Georgetown. So watch out for Morningstar. Construction continues, but it's hitting its final phases. And right up the road from Morningstar is Oaks at San Gabriel. Oaks at San Gabriel is going to invest in its infrastructure at this time. Building will continue, but word is there'll be a refresh on the park and community center. Trails will be added, and in the construction phase, semi-custom and larger homes are going to be built to meet that demand. Now, Oaks at San Gabriel is one of those that has a lot of green belt homes, and those tend to sell faster. You pay a little bit more typically, but those do tend to sell faster. And with the addition of trails, pocket parks, and greenbelts, Oaks at San Gabriel should see a good 2026. And right up from Oaks at San Gabriel is Water Oak. Water Oak was one of Georgetown's early master plan communities, and the location is fantastic. About halfway between Ronald Reagan Boulevard and Interstate 35. And the land is just gorgeous. Undulating, lots of trees, lots of homes in Water Oak back to greenbelts with wonderful views of the treetops and the hill country. And the trails through Water Oak are supposed to connect to Georgetown City Trail System, and that would be a big boon for the residents there. So watch for continued construction and homes being built in Water Oak and that trail system to be expanded. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention right up the road from there is the last phase of Wolf Ranch. As we know, Wolf Ranch is absolutely massive, 2,500 plus homes, and the last phase is going on right now with Drees and other builders finishing it out. And yes, Wolf Ranch has long been known as one of the top neighborhoods in the Georgetown, Texas area, and this new phase will be no different. It'll have homes with an array of sizes and prices, and again, location is absolutely fantastic. We've got some super exciting news coming up real quick, but let me first recap. Wolf Lakes Village, great development. Heirloom, incredibly expansive development out west. Ascension Seaton facility coming, expansions to current subdivisions, fairly new subdivisions that are growing. And let me strongly encourage you, if there's anything on this video you want more information about, just let us know in the comments below. Be happy to send you links or more details about where you can get the information that you would like to have. And feel free to download our Georgetown Buyer's Guide. It's going to include some information that you may not be familiar with. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about Georgetown, Texas, having been here as long as I have. And I feel like anyone buying or selling real estate in Georgetown, Texas should have all the information they can get their hands on in order to make the best decision for them. So let's look at just a few more changes. I would say not so exciting, but in the end, there's very exciting. And then something that is a super exciting announcement for Georgetown, Texas. And now we're going to take a look at, well, road improvements. When these are done, it's going to be fabulous. There's going to be some pain during the construction. There always is. But one of the main thoroughfares through Georgetown, Texas from east to west is Williams Drive. And there's going to be some major improvements on Williams Drive. Picture medians with grass and turning lanes and extra lanes on the edge for bicycles. And it's just going to be a very nice improvement. It's going to be a big advantage to anyone, whether you're on bicycles, motorcycles, cars, whatever the case is. And again, it's going to be a little bit frustrating, but once it's done, we're going to look back and think, wow, this is fantastic. I'm so glad they did this. There's also going to be a 4-lane improvement to Leander Highway going from Georgetown to Leander. Now, if you've ever traveled that, it is 2-lane right now. And although it's not that far, on that 2-lane highway, when you get behind somebody who's kind of slow poking it, it can seem like it's forever to get over to Ronald Reagan on Leander Highway. Well, when they change that to 4 lanes, it's going to change everything. So that's a major improvement that I'm looking forward to as well. And right between those two parallel, we're talking about 3 parallel roads from I-35 over to the west. Highway 29 is going to have the same type of improvements as Williams Drive. And anyone coming to Georgetown, visitors, prospective home buyers, whatever the case is, will drive up those roads and be quite impressed because it will be picturesque, it will be efficient, and it'll seem like Georgetown is the cutting edge town that it really is. But I know that in the meantime, over the next couple of years, starting in 2026, my wife and I are going to have a few words to say as we drive those roads, especially if we're running late for something. Now, these all start sometime in 2026. And I know that for a while, I will personally be leaving a little bit early when I'm traveling those roads. Now, my wife naturally leaves early for everything. So I'll probably just get on her timeline and go with her. Because if you're running late and trying to get through that construction, it could be frustrating. But just like the other road improvements we've seen in Georgetown and along I-35, once done, it's going to be fantastic. I'll admit it, I didn't want to finish up a video on changes in Georgetown, Texas with road changes. So we're going to talk about a very exciting change in Georgetown, Texas. Pegatron is a Taiwan-based corporation. They are globally recognized as a leader in artificial intelligence development and electronics manufacturing, including smart home devices, automobile electronics, motherboards, video graphics arrays, cable, even personal computers. And they're locating in Georgetown, Texas in 2026. Now, they've taken on 168,000 square feet. That's a lot of square footage. But since you're not building from the ground up, they're basically retrofitting an existing building. It won't take as long. And they're actually expected to be open and adding employees by the end of 2026. The timeline shows that they'll have 100 plus employees within the first 3 years and should continue adding after that. Now, most of their employees are engineers, designers, technicians, and manufacturing supervisors. So this is extraordinarily exciting for Georgetown, Texas, as well as Central Texas, because this is Pegatron's first venture in the United States. So we're very excited to see what goes on with Pegatron in 2026 and beyond. Now, let's talk about how all this might impact you. What does all this mean for buyers and sellers in Georgetown, Texas? Well, here's some things you might want to make note of. First, early entry. You see, when you get into a neighborhood that has a continued building program, you follow the price increases up with the builders. Your equity grows as the builders continue to raise their prices. Now, fair caution, if you need to leave early, you'll be competing with builders, and that's very difficult to do. Most of the builders in these subdivisions are giving very strong incentives, some up to $50,000 in incentives to buyers. And part of that is to lower that interest rate to very attractive levels. But if you get in early in Galena, Palmer Ranch, Berry Creek Highlands, you're going to reap the benefits of those built-in builder price increases as the years go by. Here's another pointer. Follow the anchors, the main development in an area. For example, Wolf Lakes Village. If you're close to Wolf Lakes Village, you're probably going to reap the benefits of the impact that has on Georgetown and its infrastructure. And as we noted when we talked about Wolf Lakes Village, it's one of the few areas that will probably positively impact the economic base of Georgetown. That's how powerful that development is. And Heirloom, even though it's long-term out northwest, is an area that's only going to see continued growth and prosperity. Now, the 55+ solutions are still in place. Sun City is still growing, and the resale market is still moving along a little on the weak side, but it is steady. But there are options that aren't necessarily 55+. For example, there's a gated community in Palmer Ranch where the lawns are maintained, small lots, very high quality homes built by Sitterly, and it's a securely gated area, sort of a lock and leave type scenario like you might consider a 55+ community to be. And I've got to tell you, don't overlook the small acreage on the outskirts of Georgetown, because as these developments continue to spread outward, they'll go out past a lot of the 1-acre communities that are around and the 1-acre homes that are along unrestricted county roads. And I'm here to tell you, big lots close in are definite value propositions. And you remember to think long-term livability. Nolina is an 8 to 10 year project. Wolf Lakes Village is a long-term project. But the closer you are to access to major improvements in big-time positive changes, the better your eventual equity will probably be. There are already homes close in that are being remodeled. And I'm not just talking about the downtown area, but other close-in areas where homes are being remodeled and sold at new home prices after the remodel. So being close in can have a big positive impact as well. Now, if you're selling a home, time it with the visible progress. What I mean by that is when the major infrastructure and construction is over, then you have a much better chance. Selling a home when there's major construction going along all the roads into the entrances of whatever developments there are can have kind of a negative impact. But when those are done, things change a little bit. People see what's going on, they see the progress, they see the improvements, and your chances of selling become a little bit better. And secondly, remember to market your home as part of a bigger picture, positive changes. Georgetown is growing, it's prosperous, so don't just market your home, your neighborhood, your community, and you'll have a little better situation when buyers come looking. And be sure to stand out from new homes, because that's going to be a big part of your competition for years to come. You just can't compete with the incentives they can give home buyers. So stand on your mature improvements, your landscaping, your trees, all your window coverings, fencing, whatever the case is. Because when someone buys a new home, there's a lot of expense beyond just the purchase. I remember when I was young and bought my first new home, I was hard-pressed to afford a bunch of water hoses, but I had to have them. And be sure to price with rationale, not just emotion. You may have bought the home for X and you've put X into it, but that doesn't mean that's what you're getting back. If you're in a competitive market competing against new homes, you have to take that into consideration. Timing is everything, but we don't always have the luxury of selling at the very best time, do we? And I've already kind of said this, but position yourself as part of Georgetown, Texas, one of the best cities in Central Texas. We have more of so many things than other surrounding areas. So position yourself within the transformation, the positive transformation of Georgetown, Texas. I hope all that makes sense. Before I finish up here, one of the questions I get more and more often nowadays is about water. Well, just so you know, Georgetown, Texas has been aggressive about staying ahead of that issue, adding a plant just a few years ago and adding capacity to the current plants now. In addition, Georgetown, Texas has been aggressively pursuing water contracts. Georgetown might be one of the few places you don't have to worry about the water issue. So if you had that question, I hope that helps. You know, one of the mistakes I see buyers make in Georgetown, Texas is really not understanding the changes that are going on around Georgetown and adapting to those and taking advantage of those positive changes. For sellers, it's not readily connecting their home story to the positive changes going on in Georgetown. Again, I'm Stuart Sutton, a real estate specialist in Georgetown, Texas. I've been here over 3 decades and I'm deeply familiar with Georgetown neighborhoods, 55+ communities, small acreage communities, new homes, and established neighborhoods. If you're planning a move in the near future to or within Georgetown, Texas, my information's on the screen. Touch base and we can create a plan that works best for you. Call, text, or email, but remember, if you email and I don't respond, it's only because you're in my spam box. So I look forward to meeting or talking to you. Thanks again for watching, and remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day.